Hello. So today's video, as you could tell by the title, is basically preparing the kitchen for depression. And maybe not everybody has depression or anxiety, but every human being goes through highs and lows of just good days and bad days and feeling motivated and unmotivated, and it's natural. And so this is basically preparing the kitchen for those times in which you feel unmotivated. And when you feel unmotivated, it's typically when you're going to make poor decisions regarding your health. You're going to go get some fast food, you're just going to throw something in the microwave, like some 2-minute noodles or something, and we don't want that over here. So we're going to prepare. I don't know about anybody else, but 2020 brought me a whole new definition of low. And to be honest, I've been living there most days. And so I'm officially tired of my own shit. Like, I know the bad habits now. I'm very familiar with them. So here's to preparing for your lows during your highs. However, even though today's not a high for me at all, it's the 5th, meaning that I can afford groceries today. If you know, you know. And anyway, we're gonna dive into this today. Rambling over, in effect, now. Here's the game plan. Okay. Hi. For anybody wondering, I'm not rich yet, so I don't have a new car or anything remotely close to a new car. In fact, my car's almost as old as me, and it lives in the desert now. So these things happen naturally with just falling apart. It literally looks like I just scraped it. I don't know. Like, it could be as little as me grabbing a bag out of the passenger seat and getting out and it touching the roof and it just crumbling. So just now that you know that. Okay, so the way that I'm choosing to do this is by motherfucker! There's no reason why downtown should be so fucking busy. So how I'm doing this is by reverse engineering what I want based on the things that make me steer away from what I need. For example, when I crave pizza and I can't get pizza out of my brain, and instead of just not eating pizza, I go to Evil Pie downtown and I spend $6 on a piece of pizza. I don't want to do that. I want to have pizza in the house. I can just make it instead of Oh my god, they tore that building down? What is happening? Oh man. And my phone fell? Wow. Downtown is changing and it's making me sad. Anyway, I made up a list of foods that Nick and I crave that we typically fulfill through fast food options. And then also some other foods that I like that are simple to make, but I don't make because I always forget that they exist. So what I did was I made a list of those things. I think it totaled out to 7 meals. And then I wrote out Nick's version and then my version because he chooses to eat meat and I choose to not. So we eat the same meals, but we eat them differently. I wrote out a shopping list from there. And the way that I write out our meals and what I'm going to use to create the meals is by loosely following a nutrition guide that I got from my holistic health and wellness coach, Portia. I go by protein, starch or a root vegetable, it's just regular vegetables, and then a little bit of healthy fat. And so I just make sure that there's a good portion of each of those things in the meal to make sure that it's balanced. And then it also helps keep meal complexity down, which sometimes can help your digestion system. Here's to being a woman and finding great parking, but the only open parking that's great parking is next to a huge white truck that only has one man in the driver's seat. And so instead of choosing great parking farther away in a less convenient space, because I have to fear for my safety around every single alone, specifically white man in a truck by themselves. I'm at the store. We're gonna go shopping now. Okay, bye. Hello, I'm home and I spent, well, first of all, I saved $25. But overall I spent a total of $250, and this was a larger than normal shopping haul because there was a lot of staples that we needed to purchase. I was out of rice, I was out of peanut butter, completely out of tortillas, I was out of almost all my cans. So I mean, it was a lot of restocking the kitchen along with getting stuff for this upcoming weeks. This is basically what that haul looks like for our house. So to start, things for my cabinet, almost pantry items that I always have, I just needed to buy more of. So completely ran out of tortillas. I needed corn, huge big flour ones, and then small wheat ones for my sweet wraps that I make. bread, peanut butter, freezer bags, as a rice, some tapioca flour, dark chocolate chips, self-rising flour. This is lentil pasta, fucking dope as shit. Some oats and falafel. So those are like pantry staples I need to catch up on. And then the other half of pantry staples I needed to catch up on is all my cans, which is basically like beans and tomatoes. And then we've got all the stuff that I got from the produce, which is a bunch of peppers, onions, cauliflower, some mushrooms, fruit and berries and stuff, guacamole and hummus because I was feeling like lazy today, re-upping on our, the sauce. Salads, pre-made salads, just because they're simple and they promote eating when you don't feel like doing that. My plant-based cheese, butter, and milk. And then the rest of the stuff is pretty much all Nick, minus these. This is my junk food. And then one of these little mango guys, which if you don't know, they are plant-based. They don't advertise it, but it's so delicious. It's delicious. You just get it and thank me later. This is all the meat that we got him. Chicken strips, beef, ground beef, beef patties, and then carne asada. And then this is like smoked turkey for sandwiches. And that is about it. If I wasn't doing such a huge haul, because like I said, a lot of this stuff is like pantry stuff that we usually just have a stock of. Typically we spend under $100 or right around $100 when we go grocery shopping, and we shop about every week and a half or so. And that's me eating a fully plant-based diet and then Nick not. So, I mean, we're buying everything in this house. Okay, so if you hear the news in the background, it's just because it's the day of the Georgia runoff elections and we are watching the happenings. Done putting stuff away, and this is what it looks like. So up here is sweet stuff, including sweet snacks, sweet things to make snacks, and then like sweet foods like our pancake and waffle mix. This is a lot of our like noodles and stuff. Peanut butter stays up here. We got some crackers, and then vegetables, like canned things that we don't really use a lot. Like I really don't use a lot of garbanzo beans, and I certainly don't eat those green beans. And then this is kind of our go-to spot. The oats are in here, canned fruit. That's just always here, honestly. I don't know how long we've had that. But then we've got our like green chili and enchilada sauce, a shit ton of beans, and then a shit ton of diced tomatoes, tomato paste, and tomato sauce. Down here is more of our just like other pantry stuff. It's our only two pantry spots. All of the seasonings that we have replaced, honestly, and don't really use, or like one-offs like the carne, and there's like a fajita one back there, that don't also make the cut to go up there with the glasses, are down here. All the tortillas, my peppers back there for like tamales, and then we've got my cinnamon sticks and honey and what's it called, syrup. And then down here is where we keep cereal and just boxed things, like Nick's honey buns are down here, some cat snacks, all of our like tin foil and parchment paper and blocks and stuff. So basically that, actually all of that you saw is all that we have when it comes to pantry stuff, food-wise. I got my fruit basket. I meant to get cuties, but by the time I hit the produce section, my cart was so heavy that I forgot. The freezer, I have frozen fruit for smoothies for the day that I get a replacement blender. This is all meat for Nick, and then we've got our sweet stuff in here. Oh, and then these are candles that I'm freezing to separate the wax from the jar, and then I can like pop it out.
Popping each other's assholes.
Really easy, and then use the jars to go up here with all these other jars of things that I have. And then last but not least, we've got the refrigerator. I'm hearing like sizzling. Do you hear the sizzling? Anyway, okay. I mean, you know what? I'm not even gonna say I'm a fan of all the plastic that's happening in here right now, but I'm also not a fan of not eating and eating fast food. So at the moment, this is what's attainable, and this is what we got. So we've got, between Nick and I, 6 different salads here, quick salads that we just make in the bag, quick made guacamole, quickly made hummus. He's got his fruit cups here, and then I think this is pineapple, I don't know. Leftover tamales and all the meat that Nick eats in here with his cheese, and then there's my cheese, veggies that didn't fit in the drawers, and then our drawers full of veggies. There's cucumbers under there somewhere too. That's about it. In terms of this, we have a lot of condiments, a lot of salsa. I'd say like 80% of everything you see here is some form of salsa, and beer and wine and 7-Eleven water, because I forgot to get water, so I just went to the gas station and bought some water. That's what the house looks like after a ridiculously large shopping haul. So I can't eat, well, I'm not gonna say I can't. It depends on what my craving is, but it's rare for me to want to eat the same thing in a row, like multiple and multiple times. So the like standard or traditional form of meal prep, it just isn't sustainable for me. So what I do instead is I know the ingredients that I use the most, that take the longest to cook, and then I prep those in advance. So I'm still cooking fresh. I still have to cut my vegetables because I don't have enough containers. I treat myself every once in a while. Soon I'll have enough of these to be able to like slice my peppers when I get home, just like my fruit. It's more likely for me to jump up and make a quick 15-minute stir fry than jump up and make a 45-minute meal. So that can look different for everybody. Who knows? I'm starting with the fruit because blueberries and blackberries just need to be washed, and then I put them into these little glass containers, and honestly they keep super long in these. So we're gonna wash them. I have this little strainer basket thing here. Dump them in there. Throw the thing at the wall. Wow. And honestly, I don't know. I feel like when I look in my fridge, and you have to learn yourself, you have to be able to trick your own brain and understand how your thought processes work. Me, when I open my fridge and I see this beautiful bowl of blueberries, I am more likely to grab it, and I don't know what that is, but it is, so we do this. And honestly, they keep a lot longer this way, in my opinion. We're gonna wash the rasps. So I'm not a huge berry fan, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not a huge fruit fan. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I have sensitive teeth, and most fruit is cold. I got 2 things of strawberries, a thing of blackberries, a thing of blueberries, and put them in the fridge. And now I'm gonna start prepping hot foods. So things that I eat a lot throughout the week are lentils. It's probably my main source of protein. And then rice, which is, along with potatoes, like my main source of like carbs. So, oh, okay. I never measure, I'm an eyeballer. We're gonna go with that much. Because I'm prepping for like 5-ish days, and I'm gonna be using quite a bit tonight in my big fat burrito. Rinse them because they're dirty. Alright, I'm gonna put them on a stove. And then we're gonna bring that to a boil and then down to a simmer. Once that starts to warm up, we are going to brown the rice with a little bit of garlic. I've got like 2 cloves that I'm gonna cut up right now. I missed my spoons. So if you're wondering, and also cringing when I use the incorrect cookware on cookware, it is completely my fault because we moved very suddenly this year in September, and I completely forgot to pack my silverware drawer. So I'm working with what I got. I'm going to reduce it to a simmer, like a 3, and cover it. Alright, that started to release its smells. 1 and 2. Hi, hello, yes, it would not be a video on my channel if there weren't a key part that I forgot to record or didn't. So here we are, cleaning up the things that I used to make the red rice that you did not see. Basically, rule of rice is 2 parts water, 1 part rice. But when you're making red rice, instead of doing 2 parts water, 1 part rice, you're going to split the 2 parts water in half. You're going to do 1 part tomato sauce and then 1 part water. I hope that made sense. I realized I wasn't recording, but that's what it looks like going in there. Now I can't lift it again because it's stinging, so don't ask. Okay, so I know I'm not special for knowing this because I tried to show someone and they were like, you just figured that out? But maybe you don't know. If you make a grid on your onion, or anything that you're trying to slice, it takes at least my onion cutting time down to half. I'm not going to cut any more garlic because I'm beginning to feel burnout. I don't really want to be in the kitchen for very much longer. So I'm going to use just minced garlic that I have in my fridge for moments like these. Now we got the bell pepper. I follow the veins from the top to the bottom. And then I just peel all these back and they detach from the seeds themselves. Throw that shit at the wall. So I'm just gonna use this guy to kind of let those steam for a second. Alright, let's see what this ice is looking like. Alright, so I'm gonna get this off the heat. My eyes are still very much fucking with me from the onions in here. Rice is the 7-cup container and it filled it almost to the top, which is crazy out of just 2 cups dry, so it's all very well cooked now. I'm just gonna pour the whole thing in there. A good amount of garlic. A good amount of and a smattering of pepper. Hi again. Okay, so I'm realizing now looking at all the footage I have that this is the only clip of me seasoning this shit that I have, and it does me absolutely no justice. If you did only this to this meal or this prep, it's gonna taste like ass. Like, we need cumin, paprika, a shit ton of salt, a shit ton of garlic, a shit ton of pepper. I might even throw in some chili powder. I might even throw in a little bit of oregano. I mean, we season your food, and please don't think that I season my food like this. Like, this is just like once every 15 minutes season it so it stays right seasoning that you're seeing here. So yeah. All right, we're pretty much on the open fry now, and then as the tomatoes start to cook, they will break down and become chassé, and then we'll pour it in with the lentils and just combine it, and that will be our meat replacement. All right, I'm going to dump it in here. All right, now I'm gonna take this off the heat. Oh damn, never fails that there's always one video that I'm doing things and I'm not recording what I'm doing. I've rolled both burritos. Hot! Alright, so this is dinner for tonight. It's vegan actually, it's plant-based. It's plant-based. Just a big fat burrito. And then his version is just a carne asada burrito, big fat burrito with beans and rice. I'm gonna put these away. Here's meal prep. I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna clean the kitchen. I might be back with y'all tomorrow, but when I'm back, it will be for a recap. Okay, so it's been a week and some days. I am starting to recognize old good habits, and that is good and that feels good. So I figured I'd just jump into like a full recap. Basically, I wanted to reverse engineer my bad habits into good habits. And for me, that looked like fulfilling my fast food cravings at home in the kitchen. So what I did was I first wrote out on a piece of paper what I crave and the different foods that I crave, from burgers and fries to pizza to pasta and garlic bread to certain Mexican foods like snacks even, and I wrote it all down. And then next to that, I wrote how I was going to basically recreate that in the kitchen. And I did that twice because I did that for me, and then I also did that for Nick too, so we could both be on the same page. And then once you're done with that, you've got your shopping list. So you can literally look at all the meals and kind of write out what the ingredients they take, do some inventory in your kitchen and see where you're at, and then you go shopping, and once you come home, you just prepare for yourself. And you know your habits better than literally anybody on this planet. So for me, preparing for myself was pre-washing my fruit and vegetables, pre-slicing the fruit that I could, and then bulk cooking like the ingredients that I use the most that take the longest. So for me, that was rice and then lentils, which I seasoned to be like a taco-y replacement. So that can look different for everybody. Whatever you eat the most of that takes the longest to cook, cook it in advance and cook it in bulk, because it's taking, you know, a 45-30 minute process down to a 10-15 minute process, and that is way more attainable when you really don't feel like doing anything in the kitchen. Okay, we're gonna go over the receipt next. It's huge. It looks huge, and it is, but it really wasn't. $60 of this went towards completely refilling the pantry, and then there was like $50 of like miscellaneous, like I bought candles, I bought some stuff for the house that literally had nothing to do with this project. So the things that we're gonna focus on are the staples, the vegetables and cheese, the meat and cheese, and things that I bought specifically for this project. Starting with the staples, I only spend about $5 to $10. That includes, usually when I'm on my grind and doing what I'm supposed to be doing at the grocery store, I buy 1 to 2 cans of everything that I eat every time I go. So we're just constantly like replacing what we use. And those cans are tomato sauce, tomato paste, and then refried beans. Other staples that we get almost every time we go to the store is milk, tortillas, bread, and like bananas and stuff like that. So I mean, really never more than $10 on like the every time stuff. And then there's the vegetables and plant-based cheese. And all of these vegetables here that you see only cost $26.12. So that's honestly, I still have so many left, like, and they're still fresh as long as you know how to like keep and store your vegetables and rotate them. Everything in my fridge is still fresh that I haven't finished. And then going down to the meat and cheese, now this includes all of the meat that we got for Nick, which you can see here, and that came out to $42.68, which is fucking crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I feel like his meat went so fast too. And then the next thing, or the next category, I guess, is like specific meal prep buys that I bought for this. And that included the Pyrex containers that I used to hold the rice and the lentils, which came out to $20 together. And the prepackaged salads. I didn't think about it because they were all on sale, like with my Smith's card. So I was like, oh, I'm getting a deal, and I was. But in the long run, spending $20 on 6 salads is like not it. It actually came out to like $23 for 6 salads. That's almost as much as I spent on all the vegetables that I bought individually. It was good though, and I'm not even gonna say I wouldn't have got them if I could talk to myself then, because there were plenty of days this past week that I literally wouldn't have eaten or only have like snacked or munched if I didn't have one of those pre-made salads in the fridge for me to just be able to grab. And by doing that, I was able to get a taste again for salads where I'm feeling like I'm craving them more, and then when I'm actually craving them is when I have energy to make them. So you gotta start somewhere, and if you gotta spend $25 on plastic salads, then do that. For how it went, like overall, it was good. It was good. I can't say I ate as much variety as I would have hoped for. It's rare for me to want to eat the same thing in a row, like multiple times. I ate a lot of burritos and quesadillas, and the quesadillas were literally exactly the same portion and contents that I would put in a burrito, just in half and shaped different. It's rare for me to want to eat the same thing. So I ate a lot of the same food that I prepped. It's rare for me, just in different ways, which was fine because it was still nutritional, it was still balanced, it was from the kitchen, from my fridge, and I'm happy about it. But I did figure out ways or where that would have like made it easier for me in the future. One of them being wanting to cut my bell peppers. And I know I talked about this earlier, but I'm just gonna buy another one of those Pyrex dishes, or even bell peppers and onions together, so I could just take a handful of stir-fry things and put them in the pan. That and making the hamburger patties, do that in advance, because I didn't do it that day. I didn't have a chance to even try before those went bad. That would be what I would do next time, is get some peppers and stuff ready for me, and then to have burger patties ready to go. But overall, I feel good. I feel like I'm finding the good old habits that I used to have. Like I don't even know the right word, because I'm always intuitive with my body. Sometimes I'm just an asshole to it, and I'm like intuitively being an asshole. So I'm really trying to intuitively not be an asshole to my body, and after a week I feel great. So highly recommend. If you found anything in this video that was helpful for you, fuck yeah. That's really all I got. This is the longest video I ever made, and if you're still here, you're awesome. See you next time.
Try to catch me howling at
And like final and last but not, I don't even know how I want to say that. And a final but like random side note is that we are a multi-food, multi-dieted household. I don't eat meat and my partner does, and that's not something that I don't know how to even, it's not weird for me. And I don't know, I'm not one to tell people what to do with their body, and if you are, then you are in the wrong kitchen, friend, because that's not how we roll here at all. But just for the disclaimer, we both have different cutting boards, we use different cast iron skillets, and we use different utensils and stuff while we're cooking. Like, there's no cross-contamination going on. My kitchen and plant-based food is probably cleaner than like the fries and sides that we order at the bar, because there's nothing else plant-based on the menu, you know? So yeah.